We were just talking about it here in the studio. The once hot housing market is finally starting to cool off. Home prices are down-ish for the fourth straight month now, and that trend is likely to continue in the new year, experts say. So joining us now to break all this down, ABC's Elizabeth Schulze. Elizabeth, prices down 4 months in a row. We said, well, we were talking here in the studio. Prices are still pretty high, and interest rates are high. But first, why are prices finally breaking out of this crazy housing market we've been having for a while?
You know, Terry, this comes down to what the Federal Reserve has been trying to do. We've been talking about how borrowing costs are getting more expensive. Interest rates have gone up. And the biggest place we've seen that play out is in the housing market. It gets more expensive to take out a mortgage. And as this has kind of kept buyers on the sideline because of the monthly payments going up, we've started to see housing prices come down. But you absolutely say it right. Down-ish is kind of the key word there. Because we see buyers on the sidelines from higher rates, we're also seeing higher effects from inflation. Consumers generally are a little bit tighter about their finances because some of those day-to-day costs are higher. At the same time, there's a long way to go for the housing market before these prices come back down to levels they were before the pandemic. This red-hot market has stayed really hot and is starting to cool, probably going to still cool off in the next couple of months, but a little bit of a ways to go when it comes to actually being affordable, especially in certain parts of the country, Terry.
Well, let's talk about certain parts of the country. Are there regions where home prices are falling the fastest?
So what we see in the data is that across metropolitan areas, home prices are dropping on a monthly basis. So if you were looking for a house last month, the prices that you're looking at this month are probably going to be lower. And some of the cities that are having the biggest declines right now are on the West Coast. So places like San Francisco, like Phoenix, like Las Vegas, really these areas that have been in these bidding wars. We've seen stories of all cash offers. These really, really tight markets are starting to cool off. Also in those cities, we're seeing that homes are staying on the market for longer. So people are listing their homes and they're not selling right away. You're not having to go out and find homes before they even list in some of those places. But on the flip side, even with those prices up, if you take a city like here in D.C., for example, those costs were down about 0.5% for prices in the past month, still 6% higher than a year ago. So really, this slowdown is happening right now. We're seeing some good news there. A lot of problem, though, comes down to the environment for the sellers. Sellers aren't wanting to list because they're worried they're not going to sell if their home's going to stay in the market for longer. So that's kind of this push-pull that we're seeing play out across cities, really across all cities in the country right now, Terry.
And Elizabeth, I want to pick up on that. For people who bought their homes, perhaps renovated them a little, put some money in it over the past 3 to 5 years in a crazy housing market, right? They may be reluctant to sell for a long time. In other words, are they going to see values go to the level that they expected? Again, I know you can't predict the future, but how do you look at that question?
Right. So one expectation from a lot of the economists and realtors I've talked to is that some of the housing levels that we got to were just incredibly inflated over the past couple of years. So this understanding that that value might be that high forever might not be the case. And that's a little bit discouraging for someone who paid a lot of money for that down payment. But what you have to think about is that you paid a lot less on your interest rate, on your monthly payment. So think about it this way. The average U.S. home price right now, Terry, $320,000. Your monthly payment at the rates that we saw in previous years was about $300. You know, you're basically paying about $700 more now because of higher rates. You were at a 3% rate. Now rates are 6%. So you can't just look at it in terms of what you paid up front and the cost. You also need to really look at it from a monthly payment point of view. And what the calculation a lot of buyers and sellers are having to make right now is, even if I can't get what I wanted from a list price, what am I going to be able to afford when it comes down to what that monthly payment's going to look like? And can I, do I maybe need to bring down the price that I'm willing to pay to buy in order to be able to afford those payments going forward?
Right. Tough times for buyers and sellers as long as these interest rates are high. And that's another conversation that I know we'll have with you sometime soon. Elizabeth Schulze, thanks very much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.